Welcome to Cloudcast, where you get an inside look at St. Cloud, Florida's local government. Whether you live, work, or play here, we're bringing you the information you need to better understand your city. Cloudcast is hosted by our communications team, including Miriam Batchelder, Andrew Sullivan, Deborah Carson, and Jay B. Miller. Thanks for listening in to Cloudcast.
Hello, St. Cloud, and welcome back to Cloudcast. I'm Mary Emma from the city's communication team, and I have with me today as our very special guest, Antranette Forbes, our Economic Development Director. And Antranette, lots of good things going on in your department. You've been winning awards faster than I can keep track of recently. Talk to me a little bit about what's going on with that, and then we'll delve into some of the great things you're doing here for our residents and businesses.
So glad to be here. We've won a couple of awards. It's been a really great year for us. We've won both state and international awards for our department. It's been wonderful.
And what were these awards and what were they for?
So we'll start with the state ones. So our state award, we won from the Florida Economic Development Council, and we also won from the Florida League of Cities for our website and for our economic gardening program. Internationally, we won also for the economic gardening program.
Okay, economic gardening. Are we like planting tulips? What does that mean exactly, economic gardening?
Somewhat. We are definitely planting proverbial seeds. We are planting seeds to help our businesses grow. As part of our strategic plan, we are all about businesses and being business friendly. So the gardening program was really designed as a suite of financial and technical assistance programs to help our businesses. You know, we came out of COVID. We aggressively started our streetscape program, and some of our businesses were like, hey, we love all these great things you guys are doing, but it's hurting us a little bit. We need to get some more customers in here. What can you do? And our city council charged us as staff and said, come up with a plan. What are you going to do? We need to help our businesses. And so we came up with about 5 or 6 different mini programs as part of this economic gardening suite. So it was everything from marketing grants for $1,000 each per business that they could market their business whatever way they wanted, all the way to having a shuttle service that looped around the downtown to our lakefront. And then we also had one-on-one technical assistance where we partnered with the UCF Business Incubator to help our businesses learn how they can pivot and get more net income. So there was just so many different programs that we offered simultaneously, as well as stackable, which means that they can take advantage of all these different programs at once, but it was all about how do we help our businesses? Everything's on the table.
Well, and apparently it's something that was unique enough and effective enough that judges in both of those competitions thought that it was noteworthy and worthy of accolades. So congratulations to you and your team on that.
Thank you. I like to think St. Cloud is pretty cool. You know, I think that we're very innovative and we're also very persistent. When we want to get something done, we get it done. And so the more barriers that are removed and allow us to do what we do, oh my goodness, the fact that we're now being recognized for this work, it's really just a tip to our hat.
Yeah, and you know, it's one thing if you get recognized locally, but these are your peers statewide and nationally giving you, you know, the attaboy, so to speak, for these programs that you're doing. Of course, ultimately, bottom line is it benefited our businesses. So kudos again to you and your team for that. Now, you also developed a new website specifically for economic development, and I know that is centerplaceforbusiness.com. It's a play off of our city tagline. Mm-hmm. So talk to me a little bit about the resources available on that economic development website.
Sure. So on our website at centerplaceforbusiness.com, it is twofold. It is both for new businesses looking to come into the city, but also for existing businesses trying to find help with expansion. So on the new business side, we offer everything from site selection, which basically means how to help a company find a great location within the city. We also offer incentives there as well. We also offer access to data, how to find the customers that they're looking for. On the existing business side, we offer resources, both local and regional, to help our businesses learn how they can grow more market share, how to identify where their customers are, any news or events that are happening. One thing that's extremely imperative to us when we help our existing businesses is we don't want to operate in such a bubble that we only tell them what St. Cloud has to offer. We want to tell them wherever in the country has something that can help our St. Cloud businesses. So we will put information up there if it's private or public agencies that say, hey, we have something for existing businesses. We put that information out there as well. So you will never find a shortage of information on our website. It's constantly being updated thanks to our communications office. And so, it's really just a kind of one-stop shop to help any business find out who we are as St. Cloud and to reinforce that we're here to help.
Now, I know you guys provide a lot of resources, like you mentioned, for our existing businesses or those looking to come here. And I know some of that, you do a lot of expos throughout the year. You do webinars. I know that there was one focusing on the transportation industry, and maybe GOA over at Orlando International Airport is looking for things that perhaps some of these businesses in St. Cloud can do. So again, you really are kind of looking to help them in a comprehensive 360-degree way, not just what we can do for them in this specific small microcosm.
Correct. A lot of people don't know that St. Cloud has over 2,000 registered businesses in the city. Well, our economic development office, there are a total of 4 of us. And so how do we be the most impactful to those 2,000 plus businesses? Well, one of the ways we do that is we do a lot of business outreach, whether it's through our webinars, our in-person expos. We also have a survey that we do every other year where we just find out, who are you as a business owner? What are your concerns? What are you looking for? And then we craft our programming around those responses. So, for example, if we do something on international trade, it's because we've heard from businesses that, hey, we'd like to get more quote unquote government contracts. Where St. Cloud isn't the only municipality, not just in this county, but in the state overall. So how do we help our small businesses get access to some of those other providers as well? Absolutely.
And you also provide through your department, I believe, there's a variety of different grants that you offer throughout the year for different purposes. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Sure. So economic development has the benefit of 3 separate divisions. So we have our economic development, we have our community redevelopment agency, and we also get some federal funding for our community development block grant funding. And the reason that's important is that gives a variety of potential resources to help our local businesses. For example, there was a period where we offered working capital to businesses up to $30,000. And they can use that for rent, for payroll, for utilities, any of those plethora of ideas.
That had to be a big help, especially in a post-COVID world, I'm sure.
Absolutely, absolutely. So as those funding sources come available, then we make them available to our businesses. We also have some grant programs that are year long. So for example, most businesses have to be registered in the city. That's if you are doing a monthly market, or if you're home based, or you have an office location, you must be registered in the city. Well, you have to register both with the city and with the county. Well, we have a grant program that reimburses you up to $100 for that registration cost. Again, that's a way to just help our businesses kind of offset some of those small costs that they may not have originally budgeted for.
Some of those startup costs that they didn't anticipate. Okay.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
And you've done, I recall, I think something where we did grants for sidewalk furniture to kind of enhance the downtown. Can you talk a little bit about that and how it really helped enhance our downtown and our businesses?
Sure. So we do have a program that is for our facade. It's basically for facades, which basically means the frontage of buildings. And so when in certain designated areas, we're allowed to use this funding. And we've had businesses fix the brick veneer on the exterior of the property. They have done new doors like historic doors. They have restriped and repaved the driveways. So there's all these different ideas that they are able to use that funding for. In fact, we have a couple of projects downtown that if you haven't come in a while, you'll see how beautiful they look now. The VFW Post is an example of that. The auxiliary building, that was done through one of our grant programs where they put a completely new exterior and roof for that building.
Yeah, that building, it really is a big improvement to that particular corner downtown. So yeah, as Antranette said, if you haven't seen that, come on downtown. And there's a lot of other good shops, businesses, restaurants to visit while you're downtown. Antranette, one of the things, I know economic development is one of our key focus areas for our strategic plan, which we just updated for another 5-year look ahead. Talk a little bit about kind of what your department is going to be focused on. What kind of businesses, industries, jobs are we looking to attract to St. Cloud?
Sure. So, there's something called qualified target industries, or in my line of work, we call it QTIs, because there's an acronym for everything in it.
We are government after all.
Right.
We love acronyms.
And so there are certain businesses that we are looking to attract into the city, particularly that result in high wage or quote unquote high quality positions. So that's your information technology, that's your healthcare and all things related to healthcare. Your manufacturing is another example. However, we are now looking at expanding those target industries to include experiential retail. And what that basically means is that is immersive shopping. For example, that's your axe throwing, your karaoke, when you go into a particular area, you can shop and you can eat, but what makes you stay in the area longer? Because the longer you stay, the more likely you are to spend more money. So we are definitely looking and doing experiential retail, and we're also looking to recruit a hotelier.
So I heard you say, okay, this is Jay talking. Just this voice that popped up.
Hi, Jay woke up.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. So these experiential retail, and you mentioned axe throwing. I just wanted to say there is actually now an axe throwing place in town. So we're getting on board with that kind of stuff.
I saw Jay's eyes light up when you said axe throwing. I thought, boy, there's a story over there somewhere.
I think that would be like a good team building thing, is to go to the
You heard it here first. The comms team is going to throw axes, presumably not at each other.
Right.
So let me ask you this then. Would the experiential retail, would that open up any opportunities for like theme parks or any type of thing like that?
Well, sure. Absolutely. It goes back to finding ways for the consumer to stay in St. Cloud longer. We have all these really wonderful natural resources in St. Cloud. That's one of the things that is part of our brand story, right? About natural beauty. And that's one of the draws, I think, that that allows people to come here and stay here longer. But you also want to look at ways that, people can really appreciate St. Cloud holistically. So, for example, as a mom of a small kid, you have to find other things to do and not just always take them to the same location because they get bored easily, right? So, okay, well, I may have taken him to Lakefront Park, which was awesome. So now I'll take him downtown to the macaroon place, or I'll go to a pottery place or the axe throwing place. But there's more opportunities for him to stay engaged, and thereby me staying engaged, spending more money. So it goes back to that same idea that we first talked about of economic development, about how do we create jobs, create opportunities for wealth, create opportunities for prosperity, that it trickles through the entire city.
Antranette, I think you've given us a lot of great information today. Is there anything else that you want to leave with our listeners before we wrap this up?
That St. Cloud is business friendly. We are here for businesses. We are constantly evolving and growing, trying to find new ways that we can attract new businesses, but also how do we help the businesses we have here stay and expand.
And if they want more information on our Economic Development Office and the assistance you can provide, how's the best way for them to get that?
So 2 ways. Our website, which is centerplaceforbusiness.com, or you can always send us an email at economicdevelopment@stcloudfl.gov.
Great. Well, Antranette, thanks for joining us today. And listeners, thanks for listening in again to Cloudcast. We'll see you next time.
That's it for this edition of Cloudcast. Don't forget to like, follow, rate, and review, and we'll see you next time on Cloudcast.